Tonight on Connecticut's news station, breaking news. A stabbing suspect is now in custody. The connection police say he has to the victim.
And seen the soot? Health officials responding to all of the soot sightings.
After record-breaking warmth temperatures in the 40s, 50s, 60s, winter is returning. We'll have your forecast coming up.
Plus, proposed utility rate hikes rejected.
You're not getting an increase. In fact, you're getting a decrease.
How local leaders are trying to save you some money.
Breaking news now on Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us here on the news at 6. I'm Ben Goldman.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez.
We begin with breaking news here just into our newsroom out of Manchester. Police have arrested a suspect, a man they say stabbed a woman last night.
We brought you this story live last night on the Fox 61 News at 10 and 11. Fox 61's Brent Harden joins us in the Breaking News Center with the very latest. Brent.
Yes, Sarah and Ben, police say 35-year-old Damian Davis was arrested, accused of stabbing a woman multiple times in the stomach. Police say Davis was believed to have been actively stalking this woman who worked as a clerk at Sam's food store. Police also say Davis was a frequent customer at that convenience store and, in fact, later confessed to officers. The victim remains in stable condition tonight. Davis is being held on $1 million bond. Ben and Sarah, back to you.
All right, Brent, thank you. Well, a question pouring into the Fox 61 newsroom all day. What is all that soot? Have you noticed this? People across our state seeing that their cars are covered in speckles of brown soot today, and they want to know why.
Yeah, some think it actually could be chemicals from the toxic train derailment in Ohio. Fox 61's Samaya Hernandez went to the experts for some answers. And Samaya, what did you discover?
Well, Sarah and Ben, you've probably seen those large fumes of smoke and heard about those environmental concerns all the way over in Ohio, but that was 600 miles away from here. And officials say that residue that you saw this morning, that wasn't it.
There's an ash, a yellowish brown material on all the cars. It's not just one car.
Fox 61 News is answering your questions.
It's all the cars. If you look at the weather pattern, the weather came up from Ohio.
That's the voice of a concerned viewer, one of several who reached out to our newsroom Friday morning. Here's East Palestine, Ohio resident Aaron Bragg describing the situation in his community.
I'm highly concerned about the potential of our village being inundated with persistent organic pollutants, which could include dioxin.
But are the Buckeye State's pollutants falling down on Connecticut cars? We went to a chemical expert for answers.
Is it something that people should be concerned about?
I would say no. They shouldn't be concerned about it.
Robert Hansen is a chemistry professor at Quinnipiac University.
The dust came up probably from the plains, and then with the rain events of the last couple of days got rained out and evaporated and landed on people's cars.
But is dust from the middle of the country cause for concern?
I wouldn't be any more concerned about that dust than any other garden variety dust that comes from soil.
Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection says it's monitoring the air quality and has not seen any impacts.
And in a statement Friday afternoon, DEEP said in part, we are aware of local reports from this morning regarding sooty matter on parked cars and have not been able to determine any singular source such as a forest fire, a power plant, or transportation-related emissions that would cause this. So what is that dust? It is still extremely unclear. But if it is something to be concerned about, the health department will test it and they'll issue a statement and let us know. I'm live in the studio today. It's Samaya Hernandez, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you. Also breaking right now, officials in Mississippi say that 6 people have died after a shooting in a town near the Tennessee state line. A suspect is in custody at this time. Police believe the suspect did act alone, but the motive for the shooting is still unclear.
A group of Hartford activists is sounding the alarm on what they say is a connection between toxic construction materials and a wave of cancer diagnoses. There's now community concern and calls for the city and school district to reveal what they knew and when they knew it. Fox 61's Matt Caron investigated. He joins us live from Hartford. Matt.
Yeah, that's right, Sarah. The group Black Lives Matter 860 is spearheading the effort to inform former students, faculty, and staff of certain Hartford public schools that they may have been exposed to what are called polychlorinated biphenyls, or more commonly called PCBs.
everyone should be concerned.
It's happening to a lot of us that are under 40.
Fox 61 investigated and discovered in 2015 the city of Hartford sued chemical company Monsanto for the cost to remove PCBs from the Clark Elementary School.
The common link has turned out to be their elementary schools.
That same year, the Department of Health publicly acknowledged the issue, but said tests were way below a level that could cause health problems, putting out this chart saying the dose was barely higher than what you'd ingest from eating canned tuna twice a week.
You can't sue them and say that, this caused cancer or this can cause cancer and then tell people don't get screened.
Fast forward to now.
I was diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer in September of 2021.
LaToya Coombs worked at the Clark School and was a student at Annie Fisher, another elementary school that may have contained PCBs before its renovation in 2010. Coombs says she didn't think much about her diagnosis until
all of a sudden, after I was diagnosed, and one other classmate, then the next one, and we all graduated at the same time. And we thought that was kind of weird.
In a statement, the Hartford Public Schools told Fox 61 in part, "We are guided by the appropriate state and federal agencies to establish and maintain a compliant approach for the management of potential PCB materials in our buildings." According to the Environmental Protection Agency, PCBs were commonly found in construction materials like insulation, paint, caulk, and flooring before they were made illegal in 1979. So not only is BLM 860 asking you to consider getting a health screening if you believe that you've been exposed, but they're also calling on city and school officials to pay for it along with any retroactive medical bills. They're also asking you to take a health screening survey, which you can find on our website, fox61.com. We're live here in Hartford outside the school's administrative offices. Matt Karen, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Matt. A rainy Friday here across the state. Take a look at the steady rain on Clark Street. This was in Hartford earlier this afternoon.
Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now as this rain makes its way through the state. Hi, Rach.
Hi. Yeah, behind the rain, it actually starts to feel more like winter. In fact, it is actually starting to feel more like the appropriate season, even as of right now, as that rain starts to mix in with ice pellets and even a few snowflakes in parts of the state, and a colder start to the weekend before temperatures rebound. We knew it wasn't going to feel like winter for too long, not this winter. Coventry, Columbia, seeing a bit of snow, rain, sleet mixture. Same is true for Chaplin as well. It's just rain here in southeastern Connecticut at the moment for a lot of New London County. We're seeing some rain through Old Saybrook and maybe a few snowflakes up around Middletown at the moment. But this is the back edge, and as we get the cooler air to move in, we're also going to continue to dry things out. So I think by 7 or 8 o'clock, most of the state is dry, the exception being eastern Connecticut. It may take until 9 to get the last rain or snow shower out of here, and then temperatures will continue to tumble. It's already 32 degrees in Torrington, near 40 in Hartford, and close to the 40-degree mark along the shoreline. It's also quite gusty. We've got gusts close to 40 miles per hour now in Waterbury, around 30 for Chester, for Groton, 25 miles per hour in the Hartford area. And as we head through the evening tonight, temperatures will start to tumble through the 20s as we head towards daybreak with clearing skies. Tomorrow we're looking at highs in the low 40s. What a difference a day makes. Today we were in the 50s. Beautiful sunshine. It feels like the teens first thing in the morning, but we are right back close to 50 for the second half of the weekend on Sunday, but more clouds will move in. We'll talk about that and a more active stretch of weather next week coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. North Street School in South Windsor goes into lockdown over a bomb threat. Classrooms were evacuated and students were dismissed early as a precaution. About 45 minutes later, a second bomb threat was called into South Street School. The same thing happened there in evacuations and an early dismissal. Nothing was found, but police are still investigating.
We have an update now on the fatal shooting in Brooklyn earlier this week. The name of the first person found dead on Middle Street has now been released. He was 32-year-old Jose Perez. Police were called to the home on Tuesday night. They also found dead inside 33-year-old Lori Pizarro and her 3-year-old son. Police say the investigation remains active.
Police are also looking for 2 suspects involved in a Southington robbery. The Pratt Street victim called 911 yesterday after seeing lights flashing in his basement. He then saw somebody running from his home. Police eventually arrested a man and a juvenile involved in that break-in. The search continues for 2 other suspects believed to be involved in that crime. New Haven police are investigating a morning shooting. This happened in the area of Washington Avenue and Spring Street. Police say they found a man with gunshot wounds on scene, and he was taken to the hospital where he's in serious condition. No word on any suspects or any arrests. The Postal Service is asking the public for help in identifying who robbed a mail carrier in Waterbury in September. Take a look at the photo. USPS is sharing this photo of the car believed to be connected to the robbery. It was seen September 30th around 2 p.m. on Bradley Avenue. USPS is offering a $50,000 reward for information that helps lead to that arrest. And more concerns about local check washing. West Hartford police have put out another warning to neighbors. The department says it's still getting reports of this check washing where criminals are breaking into Blue Postal Service boxes, opening mail with checks inside and essentially erasing the ink and changing the information. Police have some advice so you don't fall victim. If you can't use online banking, you're encouraged to drop off all your mail inside the post office. Check your mail often and as close to when it arrives as you can. Also, keep a close eye on your bank account in case something suspicious pops up. Also, use a gel pen when you're writing checks because that's harder ink to wash off. Also, put your mail on vacation hold if you're going out of town.
We have an update tonight. Connecticut-based Sikorsky responding to the deadly crash involving one of their Black Hawk helicopters in Alabama. The company did release a statement saying, quote, "We are deeply saddened and extend our condolences to all of those affected. Safety is our top priority, and we stand ready to support our customers and the investigative authorities." 2 Tennessee National Guard pilots did die in that crash. The cause of the crash is still being investigated.